Oh, hey Lil, how you going? That's Lil. We're going to look at a passage of scripture this coming Sunday at Mustard Seed. It's the passage in Luke 21 verses 5 to 19. Luke 21 verses 5 to 19. It's an apocalyptic passage, and it talks about the fact that people were looking at the temple which was a central symbol in the life and the community of Israel, and Jesus makes a comment that not one stone will be left upon another of this great and central structure in the life and culture of Israel. Now, that could simply mean he knew that the Romans were going to get really upset with the Jewish community's lack of subservience, I suppose, and come and destroy their central symbol, which certainly did happen, and so it did mean that. But there's also, I think, another level of meaning that we can see in there, because when our symbols are dissembled, we have to work out what the actual meaning is that's going on. We're prone to read meaning into things. That's the nature of a symbol, right? A symbol is something that represents something. It's not the thing, but it tells us about the thing that's other than the symbol, but the symbol somehow encapsulates or tells us or represents this other thing. So the temple in Israel represented the presence of God in the community. The temple wasn't the presence of God. God is separate to the temple, but the temple's presence there was the tangible representation of something that is far less tangible, much harder to kind of put your hands on, to touch or smell or taste or anything like that. That's why they use incense and those sorts of things to fill the room with an aroma and a smoke that represents something that is not so accessible to our senses. And Jesus is saying the symbol, it's going to be dissembled, it's going to be pulled apart. And where are you going to be then? And what's going to happen? Because there's going to be wars and rumours of wars and earthquakes and famines, and just a little footnote, there's always been wars, there's always been rumours of wars, there's always been earthquakes and famines. In fact, Jesus could have said, yep, things are going to go on pretty much like normal, but we're going to fear them more because the central symbol won't be there that holds us together with a sense of coherence and cohesion. And I think that in our society today we can see some of the evidence of that dissembling going on and the impact, so that we start to see all sorts of nefarious actors in all sorts of places where it might just actually be our fear that's going on. So anyway, that passage goes on to talk about the fact that the most vulnerable, those who don't pick a side and join an army, i.e. the Christians, they're the ones that are going to get the most blame, because, well, they're the easiest target. And it's a very human thing to hit the soft target, kick the cat when you're cranky when you get home, or, you know, all those brave men that beat up their wives is just bullshit, isn't it? Excuse me. But we know that it's a human thing to pick on someone who's more vulnerable than us, and so indeed those who love the most often suffer the most, and Jesus says that the Christians are going to suffer. And his counsel is to persevere, to just stay true, and you will discover the fullness of the truth to which you are staying true. That's a hard ask. That's a big task of faith. So we're going to talk about that this coming Sunday at Mustard Seed. It's easy to be intimidated by the notion of apocalypse because it does seem a bit frightening. But in actual fact, the unveiling, which is what apocalypse means, is the revelation of deeper, more comprehensive truth, which is a bit frightening, except that underneath it all, there continues to be, underneath it all, over it all, through it all, continues to be a God who loves us comprehensively. We've got our live nativity coming up in December. Stay tuned for more details, and look forward to seeing you around the place. Stay true. God is true. If you stay true, you'll discover just how true. Bye for now.